069-3325 in Nevis. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8:30 in Nevis. And on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom apper today.
It's 1:16 right here in Freedom FM, and it's time for SU Synchrotron Nevis. Yes, we are having hot topics this afternoon, but before we get into those hot topics, we have another hot topic this afternoon. We are speaking about the International Year of Cooperatives, and we have Erla Clark Allen, Director of Cooperatives, here with us. And we also have Kyla Gibson-Dorr. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you very much.
So, it's the International Year of Cooperatives. What are you guys doing? It's a grand year celebration.
It is, and thank you very much for asking, Jamie. And this year, as you mentioned, it is the International Year of Cooperatives, and this only comes along, I believe it's maybe every 10 years or so. Okay. But fortunately, this year we are celebrating it, and we plan to celebrate in grand style. For example, what we are going to have on Thursday coming, and I know that our patrons outside would have listened to and they would have heard the ads.
Yes.
We are going to have AgroStrip to kick us off on this exciting time. It's almost like a month of activities, right? So we are going to have the AgroStrip, and it is this coming Thursday. Now, I know that people are accustomed to see us at the AgroStrip, and may I tell you that the AgroStrip is a concept and not necessarily a place. But people are accustomed to seeing us at the lawn opposite the Newtown playing field, right? So they're accustomed to seeing us here. But this year, we want to bring it a little closer to the people. So we are going to be opposite Courts or Rams on the Bay Road. We're going to use that roundabout there, and we're going to use this space at the back there of the Treasury. So you are going to see our flags, you're going to see our tents, you're going to hear our music, and we just want to have a whole cooperative atmosphere. And because it is the International Year of Cooperatives, of course, we have collaborated with small business, and we are all under one ministry. It's the Ministry of Small Business, Entrepreneurship, and Cooperatives, and the Creative Economy. So we have collaborated with small business. So we are now going to increase the number of vendors that you're going to see on display.
Awesome.
Yes, and it is going to be an exciting time. So we're just hoping that the general public, because we have brought it closer, some people have said that they didn't have transportation, but you're right in the heart of town. So we're asking everybody, do not cook any food on that day. Do not cook any food on that day. We have something special for you.
I love it. I love it. Last year, I was very excited to go, but I got there very late. So I'm happy that it's in town now because, I could just run away from work, go down the road, and be able to be able to support our local small businesses. It's absolutely amazing.
Fantastic.
Last year there was a lot of food, there were candles, a lot of things that you could buy for gifts. We know that this is the week of the St. Kitts Music Festival.
Yes.
A lot of people are already in town. You're seeing all kind of people who have come home.
Yes.
This is the perfect opportunity to buy your souvenirs.
Correct.
Take something back. Take something from St. Kitts back for those persons who, can't be here with us.
Yes, so we are happy to send them some sunshine and some other stuff only made here in St. Kitts.
So food, tell us. What will be in store for us?
Okay, so We are hoping to have the cooperatives, like I said, the Gideon Force cooperatives. We're hoping to have a series of vegetarian products like the vegetarian pizza, you know, all stuff vegetarian that you know that Gideon Force is famous for, and their soups, etc. We want to have cassava bami. There's going to be another cooperative who is also going to be making cassava bread on the spot. It's also very exciting. This is something that our foreparents may have done. Jamie, I don't know if you can make cassava bread. I know I can't. So we're looking forward to...
I can.
You
by
can?
the way. Yes, my mother taught me how to make cassava bread.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, I don't know. And I believe that there are others like myself who would be willing to learn. So we can go down, we can ask the chef questions. How do you do this? How do you do that while we see him making his cassava bread? They're going to have people with cassava bami.
What is the bami, though?
The bami is something, you know what, Jamie? I think you need to come.
I think
yes,
so.
And
I've
find out
never
what
heard about the
bami is. I think it's something with a sweet something, but it is made from cassava.
I know there is the cassava bread, and sometimes you put like the sweet coconut or guava or something inside. So you have two.
Yes, it's
cassava
different.
bread, some like that. I know that one. When I was growing up, I didn't have that one. It was just the regular,
plain one,
cassava bread. Yes.
Right, and some people like it differently. They like with those the inserts,
filling.
yes,
Yeah,
right. So, but some people just like it plain. But the bami, I know that they're going to be doing that, so we're looking forward to that. We're going to have green banana, crushed green banana. We're going to have boiled breadfruit. We're going to have steamed fish and corn. We're going to have the jerk chicken, the saltfish and the provisions, all types of meat kinds, the fried fish, the rice and peas, the sweet potato pudding, the Johnny cake, the boiled corn. You name it, we are going to have it. And so it is going to be a really exciting time. Of course, you know, we will also be having our various fruits and vegetables on sale. We're going to have plants on sale. And
plants as well.
Yes, yes. We're going to have conky, by the way. I forgot to mention that, the conky. And there's one thing.
I've never tried the conky.
Anybody coming in from overseas who have not tasted yet, we are going to have the famous tree mutton.
Okay,
on
I'll pass
sale.
on that one.
But trust me, I
I'll
understand
take your
that
word for it.
It's really good.
I'll take your word for it.
Yes. So, but it's exciting, and sometimes you know the tree mutton finishes really fast.
Yeah, because people seem to like it.
It's good.
Yeah,
from what I've heard.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to. We're going to have all those. I think it's beekeepers, of course. You're going to be
the
on
local
ham.
honey,
of course.
And there's nothing like the local honey, right?
Right, and they're of course going to have a live bee display, of course, in a controlled environment. You know, the honey products. Rabbit. That's something else that we're going to be having. So we're really
People
looking
seem to
forward.
like that as well.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to have a great time. Pinocchio, I understand, is also going to be on hand. We are also going to be raffling a music festival ticket. You know, you come down, you buy something, we give you a little chit to go into a bag, and, you know, a little later in the afternoon, we raffle a music festival ticket. So it's all going down on the agro strip. And, of course, I have Kyla here who is going to talk about the small businesses who would be on hand, right, to amuse you and to entice you with their wares. So, Kyla?
Yes, so we'll have a number of small businesses there to showcase their products and, of course, for you to purchase. Like Jamie was saying, we'll have candles there, we'll have wax memories, we'll have the emerald, we'll have persons showcasing their jewelry like V Creation, and she has some lovely stuff. We have some healthcare stuff from Native Radiance and Nature's Best. So, and we'll have hair care. We'll have Anastasia Sugartown Organics, and you know she has a number of products: hair care, skin care,
all
wine,
locally made.
Yes.
Hot sauce, deodorant,
yes,
soap,
everything.
Yes,
all sorts of things.
All
yes.
sorts. And I also want to put a plug here, Kyla, the massages, we're going to have 10-minute massages.
Okay.
$20 for a 10-minute massage.
I remember that last year as
yes,
well.
last year
Yes.
it was
It was a
fantastic.
hit,
And,
yes.
and the massage lady, she was really good. When I finished, I just wanted to sleep.
Yes, some
It was-
persons
yes,
fell asleep right
it was
there.
really,
nice.
really good. So come on down for your $20 massages. And also the Ministry of Health is going to be on hand to do your usual health checks, your pressure, your blood checks, your age checks. So be on hand. This is Music Festival time. It's a great time to make sure that you're in great health.
Yes, take those checks before you go and drink
Yes.
on Thursday night.
Yes,
Ensure that
yes.
you can drink before you go and you put your life at risk, right? So
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm thoroughly excited because as I said, I came late last year and I don't want to be late this time. And I'm happy that it's in town,
yes,
in the middle of
yes.
town, so we could just run down the road
Right.
and participate and get all the nice goodies and
Right.
come back up.
Yes, and a good time to come is lunchtime because you'll be having your showcase at that
Yes,
time.
we will be having around midday, we will be having our cultural showcase. So the masquerades, the
Jingle.
steel pan, the what do you call them?
Jingle bell.
The jingle bell string band.
string band,
The
yes.
string band. Yes, we will be having the string band. We're having the bowl. We're having the actors. It's all going to be really excited. And our elders, the elders in our community, will be also joining us for that
okay.
lunchtime show. So it promises to be really
To be
good.
great.
So I'm really inviting everyone to come on out and to experience the Agwo Strip. It's in town, that roundabout of UDC, the UDC roundabout. the
Right, you
Port
can't
Zante
miss it
roundabout.
just as you're entering Port Zante in front of courts
Right.
and Rams, that area. So you can't miss it. And I'm certain that it'll add to the excitement in town. We know a lot of people will be in town tomorrow.
Right.
So, yeah. But Erla, I know we're almost out of time, but you have so much more planned.
Yes,
because
I
it's
do,
a year.
I do, yes. So I just want to alert our public that we are going to be having our church service this coming Sunday, the 29th. It is going to be at the Mount Carmel Baptist Church starting at 10 a.m. Feel free to come and join us for a time of praise and worship. Mount Carmel has celebrated their 60 years of being in existence, and it's a good time to give God thanks and praise. We're also having on Thursday, the 2nd of July, we're having Stalwart Awards. These are, we are going to honor people, two people in particular who have been real stalwarts in the cooperative space. And then the week of the 30th, Monday the 30th June, we're going to be having a whole set of spotlights on cooperatives where you're going to have the different people from the different cooperatives talking a little bit about their cooperatives. And then, of course, Saturday the 5th of July, that is International Cooperative Day. And as usual, our minister, the Honorable Samuel Duggins, will be giving his Cooperatives Day address, which will be hopefully broadcasted on all media platforms. And then there is, very excitingly, on Saturday the 12th of July, we are having something called Taste and See. It's a meet and greet. So you come on out at Sugar Apple, on the grounds of Sugar Apple at 6. I think it is in the evening, and you're going to have all your producer co-ops there, and you're going to have the opportunity to taste just for a small little minimal fee, right? I mean, there's no fee to come in, but for you to taste the sample the stuff and the ways. It was really good last time. We were not open to the public last time, but this time for International Cooperatives Day, we are going to be open to the public. So just for a minimal fee, you get to taste, and of course we're going to have a few other treats and so on that are free. So we just want the public, we want to create awareness of the cooperatives and the cooperative sector. So that is why we are having this Taste and See. We also want to encourage patrons from the restaurant and the hotel industries to come on out and to taste and see and to place your orders, because they're there. And one thing I forgot to mention down at Port Zante, as Jamie mentioned, It's good for gifts. So we're going to have many, many confectionaries, the sugar cakes, the tamarind jams, the different things that are going to be there, the ice pops and the mango bread and the sorrel jams and the fudges and all of those things that we are accustomed to get right from our childhood days. Yes. So I'm really looking forward to all of that. So yes, so that is some of our activities that we are having for the International Year of Cooperatives, and we are hoping to get the public's support.
And I'm hoping that you guys will come back as well and share with us a little bit more about the importance of cooperatives.
Definitely.
Not just the activities, even though we want people to support the activities as well, but, to share everything with us. So we're looking forward to that as well. We are out of time, so I'm just asking you guys to, invite everyone to come on out.
Yes.
To all the events. Let's just do it quickly.
Well, I'll speak about the Agua Strip and the trade fair. We have quality items to offer you. St. Kitts, we have some good persons who produce nice quality stuff that are good for gifts and all of that. So come out, purchase, support your local producers.
And there you had it. So come on out, especially this Thursday, to the Agua Strip down at the Bay Road, opposite Courts. We are going to be in for a great time. Lively music, good vibes. We're going to have everyone there. So come on out and support your local cooperatives and support your small businesses.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. As I said, I am so excited. Can't wait for Thursday. We'll be down there. We'll be there. So, guys, make sure that you are there as well. Thank you so much, Erla and Kyla. And we look forward to further discussions right here on Freedom FM about cooperatives. Coming up next on Freedom FM, we have Hot Topics.
Can I get a wow? It's the sound you'll make when you get out loan. Wow. It's the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home. From a place you once knew to a dream home come true. Wow is a brand new view with a love that's so strong. Where you belong. Wow, for a home like new. Wow, it's the sound you'll make when you get out loan. Wow, it's the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home.
Upgrade, improve, enhance your home with National Bank's Wow Mortgage for the effect you get when you upgrade your home. Lowest interest rate guaranteed and the most favorable terms.
Wow Mortgage, can I get a wow?
Reliable, dependable, Delta. If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
The St. Kitts Credit Union is making mortgages easy. Becoming a homeowner, whether purchasing or building, has never been easier. The SKCU is here to help. Apply online via our website, www.skccu.com, or schedule an appointment today with one of our friendly loan officers to discuss your options. St. Kitts Credit Union, the best place to borrow, the best place to save.
RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited, located on West Independence Square Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts, and the Solomon Arcade, Nevis, offers you safe and reliable transfers at great low rates and fees to 507,000 locations worldwide, with a pickup time of just 15 minutes after your transfer. And for even more ease of doing business, we home deliver and direct bank deposits in selected countries. So if anytime you want to send money to family, friends, and loved ones, at RIA, we've got you covered with over 30 years of experience moving money quickly, efficiently, and securely across 160 countries. Give us a call at 465-3325 in St. Kitts or 469-3325 in Nevis. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8:30 in Nevis, and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom apper today.
1:41 right here in the studios of Freedom FM. And, this has become our theme song for Hot Topics Live. This is Hot Topics Live right here on Freedom FM. And this afternoon, we have two members of the executive of the People's Action Movement here with us. Of course, my co-host, Nubian, will be here as well. He is having some trouble finding parking because we know Basse is it's difficult to find parking, but we welcome the Deputy Leader of the People's Action Movement, Azad Gomes. He's here with us again this afternoon. He is also the candidate for constituency number 4. Welcome back, Azad.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Jamie. Good afternoon to our Freedom listeners. Good afternoon to everyone who's logged on to the social media. I feel a part of the Freedom family.
Of course.
So I do thank you for the warm welcome.
Fantastic. And we have Mr. Sheldon Pemberton. He's the chairman of the People's Action Movement. Mr. Pemberton, your first time on Freedom FM?
I think so.
Well, we're hoping it's not your last.
I hope it wouldn't be my last. Thank you very much for the introduction, Jamie.
Okay. So, gentlemen, I am told that this afternoon's topic is the new pension scheme that was recently announced by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. At this point in time, I'll give you the opportunity to provide your opening remarks.
Yes, so the chairman will give the opening remarks as to the position that we have as a party as relates to this Labour administration's performance and what they have given the people of St. Kitts and Nevis as a new scheme. No pun intended.
Thank you very much, Deputy Leader Azad. I'd like to again thank all your listeners, Freedom FM listeners, both at home and abroad. The pension plan proposed by the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party government is deeply flawed. It takes from more than those who have already carried the weight of the nation's public service. It yet offers little in way of true retirement security. We do not need a pension plan that saves the government by robbing the workers. We need a system that balances fiscal responsibility with fairness, dignity, and justice. A pension is not somehow a handout or a favor. It's a deferred compensation earned through years of hard service, hard work, loyalty, and sacrifice. Let us be clear. We do not oppose reform. We oppose injustice. Real reform must protect our workers, not burden them. It must respect their service, not devalue it. A PAM government will not inherit justice. We will correct it. On day one, a PAM government will cancel any form of this proposed pension plan and replace it with a people-centered, expert-led, and fiscally sound alternative that truly honors the contribution of every single civil servant. We will stand for justice. We will stand for fairness. The People's Action Movement will stand with the workers of our government.
Yes, and that's the statement by our chairman in relation to the issue at hand. And of course, there is talk, Jamie. Civil servants are dissatisfied. A lot of them not a part of the consultation. We have an administration that has a top-down approach. And it's not people-centered. It is mainly about them and just putting the people at any disadvantage. And so we are here to speak on the proposed plan because what we want persons to understand essentially is that under this new proposed plan for civil servants, you work longer, you contribute more, and you earn less. I will repeat, under this new plan proposed by the Labour administration, you will work longer, contribute more, and earn less. So based on some of the plan, we had and I'm sure the chair and Nubian is here as well. You have the advantages and the disadvantages of the proposed plan. We know what the plan was and what the plan is, the proposal for the plan. And I'm sure the chairman could discuss what the plan is or was and what the proposed plan that the Labour administration is having.
Now, before we talk about the actual details of the plan, I want to take a slightly different approach with respect to what the plan is. And I'm going to use K40 as a scale with respect to government employees who work anywhere average between $79,000 to $86,000. So we can give an idea as to what the old scheme is and what the proposed scheme will be. So at age 55 and a K40 scale person, you would have a pension of about $24,514. And that will work out to a monthly of $2,043.45. On the new scheme, however, that same person will make $1,864.20. This is what, as our deputy leader was explaining, with respect to working harder and getting less.
Contributing more, but still getting less. It is a weird phenomenon, actually, Jamie, and I'm sure those persons who are listening, those persons who are within the government system, when they consider what the Labour Party, the Labour administration is proposing, forcing down the throats of civil servants, because they would have given them very short time to make a decision, very short time to sort out their own lives and livelihood. I am told that they have a deadline of June 30th, and we are already at June 24th. So within 6 days, persons within the civil service will have to make a decision. And this decision, I'm sure for many, is not likely. And based on what the chairman has said, he has given you some information comparing K40, a worker at K40, who puts in the same amount, given the same factors, would be returning home with less at the end of the day. Giving you at the old scheme would be $2,000 roughly, and then the new scheme will propose about $1,800. So you are seeing that you are returning home with less money.
And you know, Azan, what is scary about this is that if persons are to opt in to this new plan, so they will be contributing, because there's a contribution component to this scheme over the next 11 years, they would have contributed on average, $2,839. And what do they get back when they're ready for retirement? $2,443. So I don't know, maybe we have a different math system, because it seems as though the new math system is that 2,800 seems to be less than 2,000. And this is the problem with respect to the plan. I think you have indicated the challenge that we have. I don't know if this is, again, part and parcel of our government's continued way of doing business, is we did not have any consultation. We don't know who or if there were any independent consultants to analyze the way forward. And most of all, the people who are going to be affected the most in this plan were left out of the discussion for this plan. And, I think this is the reason why there's a stark contrast between the People's Action Movement, who always think about meeting people, finding out what their views are, consultation, getting the help of experts to give us some guidance before we make critical decisions. And this is nothing new. This was done even in independence. For those of you who might be a little bit younger, for independence, it was the same thing. We had a serious issue. We're making a major change. Our people are consulted. It's important that our people become part of a people-centric government.
But
and
for context, because what I don't want... Hold
But
on, Jamie.
Nubian, we needed to introduce you first, Well,
no problem. That's okay.
So
that's
we welcome Nubian Griot
Yes.
to the panel.
Yes. I got
Good
in a bit
afternoon.
late. Good afternoon, everyone. And for context sake, because what I don't want is that for people to leave with the notion that, well, Pam just playing politics, and if Labour say yeah, Pam going to say B. And if Pam say yeah, then Labour say no. I want us to put a bit of context. How does this sort of pension scheme fare within the Caribbean? What does other countries do as it pertains to their pension plan for their workers, the amount of the percentage that is paid back from their salaries, if countries actually pay back from salaries? I would want to know how it is so people could understand that it ain't every time we could come last, and it seems as though this pension scheme is designed for kitchens, the residents and citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis to come last again. So I want, because you're into finance and Azad into law, and so I would want us to give a bit of context so people could understand.
Yes. So we did the research and we looked at some of the schemes over the OECS, and we realized that most OECS islands, such as Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, and Antigua, they have the traditional non-contributory scheme.
So they don't come out the salary towards the pension.
That is correct. So they don't have to contribute. What this government is proposing is that civil servants will now have to contribute. So over the OECS model is that there's no direct employee contribution. Under the proposed SKN model, employee contributions are required. And so that is another change. And this is what we're saying. As time progresses, there are going to be changes. But it's the approach of this Labour administration. And the approach is, we're going to put things in place and then tell you about it after it's too late for you to for us to make a change. If you're going to do this, you're going to differ from the norm. You're going to introduce something into the lives of ordinary people. The best you could do is have consultation. Right. And this government, civil servants are their employees. They are the employers. They have employees. And they are not even consulting with their employees in a time where cost of living is skyrocketing. That's no secret. There is less spending power in the purse of the majority of individuals. We see that their families are given less social assistance by this administration. And so at a time like this administration is basically shuckling their employees and saying, we're going to put you under more hard labor now. When you think things can't be any worse, this administration is strangling the economic power of its employees. And we're saying consultation is necessary. How you can feel about a life-changing situation now when it comes to your pension, when it comes to, imagine 4 months ago, you think you're on the old scheme, you're looking forward to this, you're looking forward to that, And then no sooner that you think that these are going to be what is happening to you, you have an ultimatum. And the ultimatum must be made in a very short time.
But is it an ultimatum? To me, how it seems like it's not really an ultimatum. You're left with no choice. An ultimatum, you either do this or that. There isn't no that in it. Is one thing, it seems like to me.
But, I want to stick up in here because what is being said here this afternoon is in stark contrast to the narrative coming from the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party administration. We recently had Prime Minister Drew here, and he spoke about this plan as something that is revolutionary. He spoke about the plan as the best option for Kittitians and Nevisians. And I did ask him about consultation, and he said that consultation is already taking place. They had met with civil servants. Now, Azad, I guess what I'm getting from you is you would have preferred the consultation before the legislation had been passed.
Let me tell you something, Jamie. I recall that when there was a meeting with civil servants, because, yes, they were meeting with civil servants, one civil servant messaged me saying, "What is this? They are coming to us now and telling us we have to make a decision, I think, within a month or so." You understand? If you're going to have such a financially life-altering decision to be made, give people some time. The economy is not as it is. People are struggling now. The spending power of individuals is less. That is a fact. And so at a time like this, give people more time, more room to develop a plan, to try to think about it. Some persons aren't financially sound. You understand? And so they will need time to seek the necessary advice, lest they choose an option, if they do have a choice, that is less favorable to them.
In addition, Jamie, when we think about the GAE workers that is now part of this plan. These are the
government auxiliary workers.
These are people who we know their salaries are not.
They don't have large salaries.
They don't have large salaries. They don't make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're asking these same workers is to pay 3% of their salary.
Yes, but then the government is going to come back and say, but they weren't getting a pension at all.
But why they're not getting a pension at all? I think, and this is where I think it's about contrast. And I think this is where there should have been a graduating period for persons. Remember I said in my opening statement about being fiscally sound. Mm-hmm. And sometimes some things are fiscally sound and we still have to figure out the social aspect of making fiscal decisions.
True. That is true.
And unfortunately, at a time like this, we don't even know what is happening, what could happen down the road in terms of geopolitical influences and challenges. We're introducing a revolutionary plan. So I gave it the Prime Minister and tick, revolutionary plan. But like everything else in life, timing is everything. Couldn't we have done this at a different time and at the same time have people more involved? It could have been graduated. People could have graduated to that level. You could have said over an 18-month period, this is where the government sees and understands where we want the plan to be, and we could gradually get to that plan 18 months from now. But to come and tell workers who really believe in this government that they have to make a critical decision about their future, because I spoke right now about those workers who are lower paid, but even other workers who I gave you the example with the K40 scale. Some people have already paid into the system for 60% of their life. And so now they're faced with making a critical decision about what's going to happen to the next 30%. And so I think a more graduated approach would have been a wiser choice. And that is the reason why the People's Action Movement hadn't got the chance to do something of this nature. It would be a grandfathering process. Mm-hmm. The other thing is that I think it's important that we also have some form of independent analysis. Somebody's going to come and independently make a suggestion. It's like your employer coming and telling you, well, this is what you're going to get, and you'd better take it or leave it. But if an independent person can come and say, look, we have the employer and you have the employees. We're reviewed, we understand what the employer's goals are, and we understand what the employer's goal in meeting the needs of its employers. That approach is the better approach. And these are best practices that I think I would like to see us as a country moving forward, where we try not to rush to decisions. Because sometimes it's not about making the right decision. Sometimes we're making the right decision, but our process in getting to the right decision is a little bit flawed.
Mm-hmm.
And as the chairman has indicated, the rushed process. What we have to look at now, if we look at the law that is being proposed, the old versus new scheme, it says that only new officers post May 18th, 2012, JAE, and those who opt in are covered under the contributory plan. Many long-serving officers would remain under the old system. And you know what happens when that happens, Jamie? It creates a dual pension structure that could become costly and complex to manage. So imagine government now would have persons on the old scheme and still have persons on the new scheme, and would have to manage both schemes simultaneously. This government hasn't had a track record of doing things well. To complicate matters, I don't think will go well for this administration.
So what I would suggest is that we could take a break quickly and then open the lines and hear from the good folks of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Before we open the lines.
Something else I wanted to add too.
Okay, go ahead, Azar.
Is that there under this new scheme, there is no provision for widows, widowers, or dependent children. So there is the removal of the old Part 4, which means that survivor benefits for dependents if a contributor dies, unless addressed in other legislation, will no longer be there. So imagine widows can benefit from somebody, the spouse who passed, and the dependents will no longer be able to benefit. A lot of persons, die unexpectedly, and as a result, these children are able to benefit, the spouse is able to benefit that is left behind. There is now the removal of that provision, which is another consideration for persons opting into this new pension. And so, as I said before, as we have echoed, it's not only that you're giving more in, but getting less out. But you have to make these decisions in a short amount of time, thinking, am I going into the new scheme? That's if you have the option to, because some people don't have the option. So if you do have the option to, you have to consider, am I going to take this with the fact that if I do, now my survivors, won't be able to benefit from it? These are considerations. And I recall, when this was being discussed within a certain department, government, they would talk to them. But they said the concerns that they had was, you come with us and say it is consultation. But you already made the decision. You're telling us what you're doing. You're telling us, you're already guiding what options we have. We either take it or we go on the old, if you qualify for that, because there's conditions. And so that's not true consultation. A true consultation is having ideas and coming to the people and the employees and say, what do you think about this? These are some of the things that we're going to consider. Do you think we should do this? Do we should do that? Of course, you don't think that all of the persons within the government system would have maybe the knowledge to properly craft something, but at least you have that participation, that sense of Well, we talked about it. We saw how things were going. We made our suggestions, and this is what they best said was for us.
You know, I'm listening to you, right? And whilst you're speaking, I'm thinking that I have not really heard much feedback from the civil servants who is affected by this scheme. I've heard from the government, and I have not even really heard much from the opposition, because this made it through Parliament, and I don't remember anybody pointing out any flaws.
And you see, Jamie, the reason why we came here is for that very same reason. A number of persons meet us on the road, a number of persons saying, I can't believe I ain't talk about this. I can't believe this is going to happen in terms of being effective
but
June
my question
30th.
is, where is the voice of these people, right? Because it's all fine for the People's Action Movement to come here and speak, or representatives of the People's Action Movement to come here and speak about that, right? But you aren't hearing from the people who are affected. So it will give the impression that people are happy with what they're getting, no?
But Jay, I understand what you're saying.
In some situation, but what happened now is that you have to remember that these people in a government system, that this Labour administration very thin skin, and people fear victimization. That's why you find more civil servants don't speak out, because it done gonna get worse. If I talk out, it can only get worse.
You even see it at events for the opposition. A lot of persons will say, we're behind you. We ain't supporting this government. We're not supporting Labour. But out of fear for victimization, out of fear for being associated with an opposition party, with a vengeful and divisive ruling administration, a lot of people prefer to be on the sidelines. You get that everywhere you go. And so persons are looking on. Even before I came to this radio program, a lot of persons saying, you guys need to do more in terms of being out there. Persons expect this and expect that. And I said to the individual, well, as we do this, we also would need the support of the people, and the people would need to be seen as well. But when you have conversations with people, and I don't live in a vacuum, I am surrounded by people, there is the fear, there is the dissatisfaction sometimes with the politics, and there is this sort of resentment that, boy, if I talk...
And there is dissatisfaction with the opposition as well, because the opposition is in Parliament to point out these kinds of things, right? So if you are here today speaking, and nobody here from the sitting in the opposition benches,
because none of us sit in those benches.
Yes,
now.
But at the same time, if you are basically providing a rubber stamp as an opposition for everything the government does, it shows that there are some flaws within the system.
And they're not serving the purpose.
Right? Now, as I was speaking as well, it also brought out the point for me that there is a need for some sort of organization that represents the rights of workers within the civil service. We have the St. Kitts Nevis Trades and Labour
Jamie,
Union.
you know how I feel about that.
I ain't going down that road with you this afternoon.
We had the discussion
That's
before.
That's not the point that I'm making, though. But we have that organization, which, in my opinion, is flawed in that the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party came out of that organization, and regardless to what it is, people are going to see some connection between there is a connection, right? So people may not feel comfortable. And I remember when Azad was here before, we spoke. You were here too.
Yes.
We spoke about an independent body, an independent union, an independent association, maybe a civil service association, independent.
That
represents the civil servants, because things happen when you don't have representation.
Right. So there's no accountability.
Exactly. And based on what you're saying, people don't feel comfortable to represent themselves.
Yes.
So that seems to be missing.
And Jamie, that is why, and you and I are agreeing, when I said, you know how I feel about...
No, we're not agreeing. Don't mix me.
Hold on.
We're not agreeing.
Let's take a break. Let's take a break and then open back the lines so that at least people could call in. People keep arguing, saying that we just open the lines too late.
Okay, we're going to open the lines and we're going to be right back.
No, me and the number 2. The man for you. You better make the right decision, You know, see what I'm going. You see election there. To be honest, the right man. He will take the problems of your damn hand. To be honest, the right man. He will take the problems of your damn hand. You better vote. Mama say, be careful the choices you make in a life. You could end up in a mansion with the wrong man, with nobody there by your side. Individually, we got the choices to make. It's just you to decide. You could end up in a dungeon, but with a wrong sponge. No shame and it count you inside. You need to make a better decision. No, be honest, the right decision. You need to make a better decision. He will always be there by your side. You be honest, the right man. He will take the problems of your damn hand. Mr. Queer, no, be honest, the right man. He will take the problems of your damn hand.
Can I get a wow? It's the sound you'll make when you get out alone. Wow. It's the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home. From a place you once knew to a dream home come true. Wow. Is a brand new view with a love that's so strong. Where you belong. Wow. For a home like new. Wow. It's the sound you'll make when you get out alone. Wow. It's the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home.
Upgrade, improve, enhance your home with National Bank's Wow Mortgage. For the effect you get when you upgrade your home. Lowest interest rate guaranteed and the most favorable terms.
Wow Mortgage. Can I get a wow?
Reliable, dependable, Delta. If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, Go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited, located on West Independence Square Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts, and the Solomon Arcade, Nevis, offers you safe and reliable transfers at great low rates and fees to 507,000 locations worldwide, with a pickup time of just 15 minutes after your transfer. And for even more ease of doing business, we home deliver and direct bank deposits in selected countries. So if anytime you want to send money to family, friends, and loved ones, at RIA, we've got you covered with over 30 years of experience moving money quickly, efficiently, and securely across 160 countries. Give us a call at 465-3325 in St. Kitts or 469-3325 in Nevis. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8:30 in Nevis, and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited.
The The St. Kitts Credit Union is making mortgages easy. Becoming a homeowner, whether purchasing or building, has never been easier. The SKCU is here to help. Apply online via our website, www.skccu.com, or schedule an appointment today with one of our friendly loan officers to discuss your options. St. Kitts Credit Union, the best place to borrow, the best place to save.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom apper today.
And we are back right here on Hot Topics Live, a very lively discussion this afternoon. This afternoon we're speaking about the new proposed pension scheme. Is that proposed? It's beyond proposal.
As we said, yeah, they would like us to say propose, but it has been legislated. Yes, and so even. It goes to the hypocrisy of the consultation aspect because they don't know what they want to do. No matter if they come and say that this is a consultation, Jamie. It is not a consultation. It's a directive.
Exactly.
And so
consultation could mean different things, eh?
Maybe they have a different definition because they have been exercising a very different definition of the word consultation to most.
But Azad, we do have a caller and we want to take some calls because
most definitely.
People bash us each and every week.
Yes.
So the numbers to call in are 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. That's 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. Good afternoon. You are our first caller for the afternoon.
Yes, greetings.
Greetings.
Rascalonji.
Rascalunji, how are you?
I'm good. And I hope everybody there on the panel is good.
Okay.
Now, y'all have an interesting discussion. But I think what we are missing, all sides, I'm going to show you a point. Before the Labour government got into office, Unity say the PLP, People's Labour Party, said that they was going to increase the 500 to 1,000. Labour said 1,500. All right? I saw a clip with the Prime Minister on Facebook saying that when he get into office, if prices is too high, he's going to be subsidizing this and subsidizing that. No, that is not happening, and inflation is on the rise. So the point I'm making, all we're doing is the pot calling the kettle black politics. I'm saying to our people, we have to stop that. Because what I'm saying is that the geopolitical situation has changed since COVID. I know that nobody could have get $1,000 or $1,500. I knew that. But how come other people don't know that? Because the leadership that we got, whether it's in opposition or in government, is not telling our people the truth.
I agree with you on that, Rascalunji.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have to change this thing because the world has changed. That old politics, blaming one another, is bankrupt, is no longer viable. So I'm saying, what we need amongst ourselves, the people got to unite and deal with these things head on. Because, okay, let's suppose get into power. And all these nice things you're hearing, and they ain't manifest again. The people going to get more disillusioned. So I'm saying, we as a people, all sides, we have to sit down, have a proper analysis of what is going on globally, and come up with an approach to move forward. We need a national consciousness. Because look here, you see the escalation between Iran Israel and the United States, it's going to escalate more. Yeah. Trump is calling for a ceasefire now because he see that he underestimated Iran. Iran is obliterating Israel. So what I'm saying, if this thing escalates more and they shut down the Straits of Hormuz, the inflation going to rise.
Ras Kalonji.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. I'm listening to what you're saying, and yes, we do have to take into consideration what is happening around us. But I'm not supporting PLP because you made a mention about PLP and increasing from 500 to 1,000. But in your statement, there's something a little off because you're saying that all politicians are the same because, raising from 500 to 1,000 would not have happened.
I knew it wasn't happening.
But I am for the People's Action Movement, but I'm just saying, PLP didn't win the election during that time when that promise was made. Okay, so it is unfair for you to. Listen what I'm saying. You're making a point to say that you knew that it couldn't happen, but there was no chance for it to be implemented. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't understand. Because hear what I'm saying to you. Listen. From since COVID to now, things have gotten worse. Not only here, to the whole Western world.
I agree with that, Kalunji, but then at the same time, while things are getting worse, we are faced with a situation where we have politicians who don't come and tell us the truth. They come and they paint a rosy picture. And I'm not speaking about the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party alone because this happened under the last administration as well. Now, when you're going to come and paint us a rosy picture and the people are making demands on you, you should be able to meet the demands because you are painting a rosy picture. Come and tell us, listen, the IMF said X, Y, Z, whatever. This is what is happening. Don't come and point out the good things, oh, we're doing this and we're doing that and that's it. And then when you look, these things are not happening.
And
right?
what we're saying too, because of course, we don't live in a vacuum and we are affected by things around us. But Kalonji, how you make your point is as if, well, if Labour do us bad, that's how it is because they ain't had no other choice because things around us going bad.
That's how you're looking at it.
No.
Listen,
Kalonji, you had almost 5 minutes of speaking, and every time I try to make a point, you cut me off. And you go over me. So yes.
I don't think that we're gonna disagree.
Yes.
We're gonna agree to disagree. Kalunji, thank you so much for that.
We need a new course, my sister. Tell the truth.
And we're gonna have you back here to speak about the new course again. Right?
People need to unite.
Definitely. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
And we agree. The people definitely need to unite. Okay. But
yeah, man.
Yes, so we're gonna take another call. Good afternoon. Greetings.
No, I'm a son to the palace. Greetings to each and everyone.
They're listening. Their mics are off because we're having some trouble with them hearing you once the mics are on. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Listen to me, man. A certain talk. I Kalunji speak there. He kind all right. Because why I say kind all right? Because me and man know in a line and not digginess with some of them politicians. I got respect for some. And in all of them is bad. And in all of them I think alike. So let me tell you, the opposite sometimes will come with honey talk, sweet jabon talk, love heart talk, and when they get in, we can't neither sit them in neither 6 months' time or year time who come and keep a little public meeting and tell the whole nation how they get into and where we want and what's not and question asks. Public. Me in that. Because where in that? When me support the party and me see them not doing things suit the people and them, I don't feel good because the pain is my pain. I don't know about my pain is the pain, but my pain is the pain because we all is one. And Kolonji, Rasta Kolonji, who that work? We all have to come together. We unite together. Lastly, because other people want to get into. And me say, if some of them politicians not change and come with truthful things, because I hear what Kalonji say about 1,500, 1,000, 500, I hear that with my own ear from politicians, and that end, and up here that's true. So me tell them, they have to look about the people, them, especially the pension, them, the foundation of the pension, them, because a lot of them are quite out. And let me ask the PAM party, when you are getting in there, you're going to mostly for especially the pensioners and also the ordinary people, them too. Greetings.
Thank you so much for that contribution. In the interest of time, we're going to take this call. Good afternoon. You're live.
Good afternoon, Amy. And
good afternoon, Mr. McMahon. How are you?
I'm fine. I think someone made a very important point about the government's failure to consult with the people who are going to be affected by major changes in policies, right? Or for that matter, if they're introducing new policies, new projects, and those kinds of things. And that has been a problem of all administrations in recent times. So successive governments have been faced with a lot of backlash when plans and agreements eventually become public, right? But aren't your guests doing the same thing right now in terms of did they do a consultation with a wide cross-section of the civil service who are going to be affected? It's not enough to cry wolf and say people are afraid of victimization, so they're not going to show up if, for instance, you arrange some kind of consultation with them, right? That's left to be seen, right? And it feeds into the narrative that your previous callers this afternoon are alluding to, and that is you guys are all the same. Politicians are all the same. They see everything that's wrong when they're in opposition, and as soon as they get in, it's a totally different story. And it's breeding a lot of cynicism and disillusionment among the people. I think that the People's Action Movement and the opposition in general, because there are apparently different factions now, I think they need to really break out from the pack, from the mold, and do something to convince people that they will in fact be different if they held the reins of power. That you'll definitely do something to change the current status quo generally, okay? And you won't be just just a change of faces doing the same kinds of things that people are always objecting to, right? This morning on another talk show, it was pretty much the same thing, right? About politicians not living up to their promises. What I think people would like to see, and I would make a suggestion, a practical suggestion. You know that, for instance, a lot of really deep changes in our system can't be done without constitutional reform. I don't hear the opposition talking about that. I don't hear you all talking about why isn't there a public accounts committee. You don't talk about these things. It's all well and good to pick at policies, individual policies. But the big picture is that we are suffering from a lack of good governance practices. And the practical thing would be, yes, it might seem very controversial, and it's probably going to be difficult to achieve. But if you, for instance, you have a manifesto, and you actually have a legally binding document, put it out as a legally binding document, that if particular policies in that manifesto is not carried out by a specific time frame, then you have to go back to the people. You resign and go back to the people. Yes, it would be something dramatic, but at least it would give people confidence that, one, you're not going to come with no promises that you know you can't keep. That's one. And secondly, that what you promise, you're going to at least make a really big effort to fulfill those promises. So I'd like you all to consider something like that, because, like I said, I don't think the opposition is making any inroads in our political landscape right now, and it's because to most people it seems like more of the same kind of MO, right, as previous politicians, right? And you have to be different. You got to come better. It can't be the same old. We had enough of the same old. From the current government and how it operates, from the previous ones. Now you have a new, at least some new new leader at least. Come with something different. As well. Don't try and come with the same thing. Otherwise, you ain't going to get a different result. All right, then.
Okay. So I'm going to give you gentlemen an opportunity to respond to the callers that we've had so far, and then we'll open the lines again. Try to keep the responses short, Azad. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first, Jamie. Jamie, I am hearing the cries and the concerns from people in Radio Land. As I walk the streets of Bastille, I hear the cries of frustration. And I think that is one of the things that the People's Action Movement is now making a shift and an adjustment to that same cry. We want accountability to start, not when you're in government. We want accountability to start when you're in opposition. And so, as the chairman of PAM, and I know that our political leader, Ms. Shani Natasha Greb Brooks, we want to make sure that when we decide or try to figure out some of these policies, our attitude has to show in opposition, which is the reason why we have embarked on meeting our constituents where they are. It's critical. As Mr. McMahon said, he's a veteran at this, and he's absolutely right that we have to make a mental shift and a mindset shift. And I know under the People's Action Movement, our new leaderships, we are confident that the only way we're going to address these concerns is if the people of St. Kitts and Nevis are at the table negotiating all these things, whether it goes for housing, whether it goes to the diversification of the economy. We hear a lot of platitudes, a lot of nice talk. And so for example, I believe that a People's Action Movement government, and we will do it even in opposition, where we will engage the small businesses, we'll engage the Chamber of Commerce, try to find out what are their pain, what are the things that they would like to see us do. And this can't be, we have a tendency of doing this as a one-shot deal. I mean, yes, the government does for its estimates, they have a special session, they would say that they do that, but it has to be much more inclusive of not just figureheads of people who sits in boardrooms and people say it's a boys club and I touch you and you touch you, say, okay, we're good, we move ahead. And then when things are not working, we change. And that is what is happening in St. Kitts and Nevis and around the wider Caribbean. So I hear the callers, and I can tell you that the People's Action Movement will make that contrasting difference of meeting the voters where they are, in their villages, in the bar shops, in the where you cut your hair, the bars, the barber. I think it's important. We have to get to the nurses. We have to have a much more engaging conversation. We have to get to the farmers. And I can say that at some point in time, the farmers are crying. And I can tell you that we plan on having a farmers summit where we would like to engage the farmers and find out what are their challenges, what are their struggles, so that when we're ready to create a strategy, ready to create a plan, it's a plan that is very inclusive of their ideas and their concerns.
Well, you see, one of the things that we have been plagued with, and I don't think that we would find any solution to it unless there is some sort of accountability. There's some sort of repercussions for lack of leadership. Now, if we have like a midterm primaries where we could get people that could come back and vote and say, okay, cool, we gave you the mandate, so can continue and carry on. Like Mr. McMahon spoke about a contract. If you're not, it's a legally binding contract, you're not doing what you're doing, what you're supposed to be doing in the time frame that you're supposed to do it, then we get rid of you. There is no mechanism in place to get rid of a government that is failing the people until the next 5 years.
So I'm hearing constitutional reform.
Correct. So
because
we
that would
need
take
that.
change in the constitution, right, Azar?
Because what happens is that we elect a government or we elect persons and then we can't find them for the next 5 years. They come and they give us $500.
Well, let me say electoral reform.
They come and we
no,
elect
but
them.
Won't you have to change the constitution to change how many times
we'll
have an election?
Well, I'll check that for sure, but I know that we are governed by the Elections Act.
Okay.
And so there is no recourse for the country until 5 years pass. And so we got to suffer under a government that is doing nothing at all for us, nothing for the people, and we just got to wait until 5 years finish. They should have some mechanism that a minister, let's say one of the ministers, them not performing, let's say I'm elected and I'm not performing, there is recourse that it doesn't have to take 5 years to get rid of a particular minister or our government completely that is not performing. And that's what it needs. Because there is no recourse for nobody at all. Like, everybody got to sit down and hold their hand and hold their belly for 5 years. And then you gamble and see if this person gonna perform. Get rid of them quickly. You're just consuming the taxpayers' money, traveling the whole world, and you can't do nothing at all about it. While somebody got to sit down and suffer for 5 years. Now, can you imagine a child that is 13 years old, hearing the talks, then reach 18 years old and could vote. And so, let me take a chance here. And then the child got to wait until he's 23 and gamble again and lose. And then wait until he's 27, gamble again and lose. Once there is no repercussions, the ministers going to become complacent. They're going to take care of people and hope that they got enough money to purchase the election within the next 5 years.
So, Nubian, once you are elected, because I'm going to ask you,
right?
Is there something that you'll put forward under the People's Action Movement administration?
Of course.
Because we heard the gentleman calling, speaking about promises that people make whilst in opposition.
And that's the truth.
Right?
That is the truth.
And I remember asking politicians during the last election cycle, right here, I didn't ask you.
Yes.
What makes you different, right? Because let's face it, the electorate has become disillusioned. We really care. A lot of people, when you speak to them, they don't even want to vote.
And that is the reality.
Hold on there, just make a half a second interjection right now. And so, it going to stop the politicians them from coming and telling you what you want to hear. Because if I come and say, Jamie, I could cut your grass and turn this grass green within 5 minutes. And you know it's a lie. The grass got to water at least for a couple of weeks before it starts to get green. And I'm telling you, in 5 minutes I could do it. But if you give me a contract and I say I could turn the grass green in 5 minutes, and if I don't, then I owe you. Then I would never come and say it.
Okay, let's go back to the phone lines, and we missed that one. We're going to take a few calls, and then we'll allow the gentleman to respond again. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I the complaint about them boys you're saying the same though. The party had 4 seats, yeah. The last man with 1 seat dominate them.
Nobody here was a part of that administration.
Yeah, but it's the party. The party.
Yeah, but nobody here was a part of the administration. So this is a new slate. Let's move on.
Under the banner of the party, the last man dominate them. Then you come back and apologize to the people. They come in saying they're going to do something that all the road them, I see them fixing out. They should have done long time in the last 7.5 years. The men him know what they're saying. Because they have the thing and they got a man, they got the representative and program with them here. He couldn't be the prime minister, but he could see them and program questioning them.
Okay, caller, thank you so much for that contribution. Let's take this call. Good afternoon, you're live. Hello?
Good afternoon to your panel.
Good afternoon. Listen, we ain't want to ambush marketing here this afternoon, my good friend.
They are open to the...
I just letting you know from the early, right? Let's go.
I'm going to speak on 2 things which I've always advocated for. And by the way, Azad, you cannot have electoral changes in the form that is being put forward without constitutional changes. You would need that. However, I've always advocated for the people and the right to remove a candidate.
That is true.
Or a government.
See, I'm agreeing with you this afternoon.
Yeah, because I always... For now. So here's what I'm going to say. It's only one way you can do that. The right to recall. Unfortunately, we do not vote for Prime Minister, so you can't vote to recall the Prime Minister.
But no, he wasn't speaking about the Prime Minister alone, Austin. He meant any representative.
Yeah, but it would have to be done based on our Constitution. It would have to be done representative by representative. Because it would take, So the right to recall is one way that you would deal with the removal of a minister or a politician if the constituents believe that they are not performing. And I'm still for that. The next thing that I've always advocated...
So are you advising the Prime Minister to look in that direction?
Jamie, I can't tell you on what I advise the Prime Minister.
I still have to ask.
That's a good question, Austin.
But I can't tell you on what I advise the Prime Minister.
There are some questions. I always ask you questions that I know you're not going to answer, but I ask still.
But Mr. Edinburgh, you are right next to the Prime Minister. You are his advisor. If these are things that you think would be beneficial for our country,
you don't have to tell him.
You need to tell him.
He knows.
And so he could speak to his colleagues.
And I have full confidence that Austin is telling him.
I will not tell you on what I advise the Prime Minister. I can't do that.
Okay, Austin, go on to your second point and try don't ambush the program.
No, I don't ambush anybody. I don't come in the light.
Go ahead.
No, the next thing that I believe that will bring equity in the Constitution and give the voters in St. Kitts more, authority and autonomy over St. Kitts is a government for St. Kitts. Until we have that equity in the Constitution, there will always be confusion over the electoral process.
I think this is the perfect time to move for constitutional reform because guess what? We have you have more than enough votes in Parliament. You have an opposition who basically with the government, right? You actually do.
To see constitutional reform where all sitting parliamentarians, once these discussions are had and we agree on the things that, the people, and we have agreed on what areas of the Constitution that we would like to see change, I would like to see where all politicians vote in favor of putting the constitutional reforms before the people.
It may very well be likely right now. I think this is a good opportunity. But thank you so much for calling in and giving us that contribution. And I'll invite everyone to tune in to Austin's show on Sunday, The Conversation, right here on Freedom FM 6:30, right?
Yes, 6:30.
Okay.
I would hope he's having the conversation with the Prime Minister in his capacity as
He
the
heard.
advisor.
He heard. And I'm fully confident that Austin is doing his job. Right, Austin? Remember I said you're my friend this week.
There's no question that you're going to ask me in relation to my advice to the Prime Minister that I will answer.
Yeah, I know, but I still go ask. Thank you for calling in. Okay?
All right, thank you very much. Yes.
Let's move on. Good afternoon. You're live.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Well, I just want to try to bring peace from constituency 7.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pell. How are you? Peace,
And,
peace be unto you as well.
Yes, I'm listening. The first portion of it, I just come to give support to my colleagues who are there discussing the entire thing about the Social Security. So there's not much need for me to go into
Not Social Security, the pension, sir.
The pension. My apologies. Slip of the tongue. Is that they have the information, so I think it will be clear. And I hope persons will call in and give their side of, their input on that. The other side of it is that the Constitution, when it comes to anything to do with election, even though you have the Election Act, the Constitution must play a role in it. However, I must say what Nubian mentioned, in other countries they have that where it is when you reach halfway through your term, if you're not performing the way or you're not delivering, or especially for the constituents, because it boils down to the constituency. If the constituency believe that what you campaign on, you're not delivering halfway through the term, so it will be like 2.5 years, they could call a referendum. And a recall referendum, they call it. However, to have that before you go through it, more persons who voted for you must win that recall. So if you were elected by, let's say, 7,000 persons, and only 4,000 persons say they would want to recall on you, then it's no longer void. It cannot go through. It has to be more. So even if it's 7,001, that's it. So these are some of the things we will have to consider if we're thinking of going along that line. You get where I'm coming from? Hello?
Yes, we're listening.
Right. So I just wanted to bring that in so persons could understand that there are some countries that has that actually in place, but it must be midway to your term. I know some person might want it to be before, but at least that might be a good way to measure whether or not the person is performing to what they said they were going to do. But I just want to go before I go is that the People's Action Movement see the problems, have the solutions, and will deliver. I know persons saying all politicians, all political parties are the same. But when you have to look at our country, it may be so to them, but when you have to analyze the whole thing, you will see a big difference to something because the People's Action Movement, Constitution, put people first. And therefore, we have a track record of doing that because if that wasn't so, we would have never get the name the most economic and developed country, not only in the OECD, but in the entire Caribbean and Latin America. That is a track record that we have to let people know that People's Action Movement can and do deliver. And we are looking at the support for everybody come the next general election to give the People's Action Movement a strong mandate to deliver for the people, to make us better than how we made our country when they was there. And even the question that they're having, just like my colleague, and plus we have the chairman there, and we have the other deputy political there saying, and they're bringing what they're thinking. And we have also our candidate there.
Yes.
The People's Action Movement. Not only believe they could deliver, we can deliver and we will deliver. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much,
you very much,
Mr. Pell, for that contribution. We always look forward to hearing from Mr. One of these days, bring him.
Yes, I will.
Bring him.
I will.
Right?
I will.
Right, but we do have lots of calls coming in and we're short on time, so let's take this call. Good afternoon, you're live.
Yes, good afternoon, Jeremy and the gentleman there. Up. Central, yeah. No beyond, yeah.
Yeah, man, bless
but
up,
you know
bless
what
up.
happened? You know what I see for these days going down? This is not these days. You all got to go to stop this because you know, it break me heart and I wish you could have seen them before you pass away. You hear? When one government beginning a project, the other one supposed to go and finish it to come out. And we're not getting that. There was there's a place down here by the Baptist church. They say for when you done finish work late, policemen, they could have said you. No, it ain't happening there. Well, I'm and next place again, Mr. Timothy went up Mount Hill and refurbish build a new clinic. I passed this seat. You think it's right this present government that about a refurbish a whole one? All this is some taxpayers' money. What happens? We don't pay tax. I got to pay tax where I live. I don't let this nonsense story, you know. This is the pain in our eye. That's all I see. You can digging out your eyes, taxpayers' money. Next thing again, renting these private places. When we have a lot of government building there, need to refurbish, renting, putting water and back to run off. It's a no big I make here to turn up make this country come back from how it be. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, right to be taxpayers,
okay. Okay, Nuts Lady.
Yeah, Nuts Lady, we got a little walk through up there in Shadwell this afternoon. Come through and show
I
your
live
support.
I live up Buckland.
No problem, but I'm just saying we have a walk through in Pine Garden this afternoon.
Yeah, so you could come and meet the candidate in Pine
Yes.
Garden this afternoon and share your concerns, okay?
Yeah, man, I don't like that at all. Wasting taxpayers' money to people.
Yeah, nobody ain't gonna listen to you.
Yeah,
and he gonna find some solutions for you, okay?
There.
Yes.
Pam
What
got the
time
solution.
What time you begin?
5 o'clock.
Okay, I'm going to just come. Give us a word on beach already.
Yeah, 5
I'm going
o'clock
to
sharp.
like a rose. Yeah, man.
Okay, thank you so much for your contribution, Sheldon.
Yeah, Jamie, you know, it's amazing. People like to say we like to talk politics, and it would be remiss if I don't actually speak to this issue. Can you imagine that this new pension plan that has been reduced for everybody inside the public service has decreased? However, the political leaders and the politicians get a golden pass to a cushy pension. The Prime Minister, one day, he gets pension for life. Candidates, or not candidates, ministers of government, after 2 terms, they get their full pension. So something seems to be a little bit gone awry here. That the politicians who decided not to do the consultation has decided amongst themselves that it's okay to make some changes with respect to the current pension plan that reduces their benefits, such as with respect to the workers who were not able to get pension, so I think it was a survivorship. Sorry.
Widows.
The widows and the children and the independents. Those people have been struck out of this new pension plan, while the government continues, in spite of their poor performance as a government. So coming back to what a lot of people have been talking about with respect to the government's poor performance. In spite of the poor performance, the government continues to prop up their benefits, prop up their salaries, while they ask other people in the community to tighten their belt. That cannot make sense in a democracy. And that is the reason why I think the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, we need to wake up. We need to wake up. We need to challenge all politicians, even the People's Action Movement. I'm serious. Accountability does not start in government. Accountability starts even when you're in opposition. And as the chairman of PAM, I want to make sure that all our candidates who will be contesting the election will go through this vigorous process of understanding this new cultural shift, that we're actually making this cultural shift because it's necessary, and it's because it's what the people, the voters, who are actually trying their best, they have the aspirations. Too many politicians believe, and I'm not speaking as a politician, I'm speaking as the chairman of PAM, and I think that's the cultural shift we need to make. Too many politicians believe that elections are about them. And elections are not about them.
Right.
Elections are about the people, the people who have aspirations, the people who want to have to pay for their children to go to university, the people who have concerns about medical and health care, the people concerned about education. Those are the concerns of constituents. And politicians today need to have a better understanding that the constituents are their number one, the people who they need to focus on, and they are the ones who have employed us or employ them as the politicians. We have the shift needs to be, or the paradigm needs to be inverted. And so I'm really, really happy to hear the cries and the concerns expressed in the wider community. We need to have more of these conversations apart from talk shows. We need to go into the communities, and the People's Action Movement will be coming into the communities to have conversations with you about what do you want, what do you see as your future for St. Kitts and Nevis. And it's with your help we will devise a blueprint that will take this country forward in spite of all the challenges. The geopolitical challenges are out there. We are very much aware of them. But a government must be sensitive to these challenges. And if we're not sensitive to these challenges, then we would not be able to provide the correct solutions. And the People's Action Movement is on a rescue mission to make sure that these needs are satisfied.
Okay, let's take this call. Good afternoon. You're live.
You get blessed. Greetings.
Greetings.
Jamie, to everyone. If those gentlemen there saying that Labour is nothing in this country, you got to be there from here.
Who said Labour didn't do anything in the country?
Well, that's how they sound to me.
Nobody said that this afternoon.
Let me say this to the youngsters in there, right? And to black people in general. Trust me. This is a crab in the barrel kind of thing we're dealing with, this political thing. And we must give Jackie right now. Those young men that there sitting by you, let them go and change themselves a little more. Sit back. Because if this government is so bad right now, anything beside this can be worse. What we need to do right now is try to encourage who in office right now, you check, to do the best rather than come and jagging saying they ain't doing this and they. To me, that's a hypocritical thing I'm dealing with. Trust me. I see little things happening here and there. Black people are under a spell. We're like to work. Government is our God. So we got to look into these things and try to work and help ourselves in between, sister. And I hear people coming and talking all the time about they ain't doing it, they ain't doing nothing. But watch here. Right now, Conway, Joe, and their man is the most right now to me serious people I see looking after our financial affairs. I don't care what nobody says. You check? Don't care what they talk and they say, right now we can settle with these people until I have grown up enough to handle money. Yeah, respect.
Thank you so much for that contribution. And we do have 1 minute left. The lines are
I just want to
quiet.
remind that
So-
caller that this is a democratic society. He has expressed
Okay,
his
as
views.
I stick up in. Okay, we missed that one.
Yeah,
Okay,
he has
go
expressed
ahead.
his views.
Okay, stick up in.
And so too can
Stick up
we
in,
express
we're
our
gonna-
views.
Yes, yeah, but let's take this call. Good afternoon.
A pleasant afternoon. Yobiang once with PLP, he lost. So me understand what Yobiang trying to tell young people in Central Bastille. You understand me? I want to know if you have to come and minister today or tomorrow. You and the one for number 4, if I ain't travel no time at all to do the paperwork. I want to know if you ain't travel no time at all, Yobiang. If the Prime Minister have to travel, you have to travel. If you leader have to travel, you just have to travel. But not necessarily coming on the road and telling poor people by and young people listening in Iowa, you'll be on. You was once with PLP. I don't know if Pam could trust you. There's a lot of nonsense I talking. A lot of nonsense. We ball on the PLP, we ball on the PAM for 15 years. So why are you trying to tell me? I think every one of the government them perfect. Nobody perfect. If you could go in there and do the work, I would like to see you do it, you'll be on. And I'd like to see you not travel one day.
on. I got to stop this thing hereby. If I got to go into that, I got to travel. I got to bring people to the country. You want to tell me that you're going to sit down in Parliament and talk to them people coming?
Caller,
what?
I just want you to
but,
remember.
But wait, caller, we're going to try to be respectful because you said what you said, and now he is responding to you, okay? So let's try to keep it respectful.
Yes, caller. You make mention of traveling, and although we do believe that this administration has traveled on trips that at times they don't bring anything, that's not the point of our conversation today. We have not expressed any view on the traveling today on this program.
I mean, I say it.
Listen, we talked about the new pension plan for civil servants. And again, if you are satisfied with this Labour administration, that's fine. But we, like many other citizens and divisions, have a democratic right. We have the right to express ourselves. And many of us are dissatisfied with the performance of the Labour Party. And I'm sure if you're honest with yourself, and you go to persons on the road and you tell them and you ask them how they feel about this Labour administration, many of them would agree that this administration is underperforming.
But between you, Pammy, and you?
Carla, let me tell you something, right? You're being very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. But Pam is here. He's here representing Pam. So to me, this is the wrong place. This is the wrong... Okay, Azad, answer.
Carla, I am the candidate for the People's Action Movement in Constituency 4. I'm also the deputy leader of the People's Action Movement. I think that in and of itself speaks for itself.
Better candidate than you. They may want you.
Okay, Carla, are you finished?
Me.
Hello? I apologize. I really apologize for that, Carla. And we're gonna.
Yes.
I apologize for that, caller. That I don't want to end on that note. So let's take this caller, and then we'll have the gentleman wrap up. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to everyone. What I'm seeing there is around the chin back, Bamba Kalele chin back there. You know, Hollywood politics as usual, with 4 people playing with 4 people. Good day.
Okay, and that caller bringing out the point that many callers brought out this afternoon, that people are disillusioned by politicians. And Nobi, and you know, we've had these conversations here many times. And what I've said to you here and in other conversations is that anybody putting up themselves to run to contest any election, they have to do the work. Mm-hmm. They have to do the work. Gone are the days where people are going to say, oh, but my mother used to vote for Labour, so I'm going to vote for Labour. Or my mother used to vote for Pam, so I'm going to vote for Pam. They had no PLP, so nobody was voting for PLP back in the day, right? You're going to have to do the work. You're going to have, as Sheldon said, you're going to have to stay in contact with the people and find out what the people want. Because a lot of times we hear politicians bringing a lot of policies, a lot of solutions, and they are not people-centered. They are not focusing on the needs of the ordinary man or the woman. We ain't sitting down just taking what we're going to get now. Mm-hmm. We are not going to do that. We are going to tell you this is what we need. And if you know better than us, because, you know, you are experts in your field, that is why we're voting for you, then you tell us, but this cannot work, this may work. And we work together to find a solution. We're looking for the gods in office, right? That is not what we're looking for. No, at this point in time, I'm going to invite you to wrap you to wrap up because we've had a very feisty program this afternoon. Some of y'all came out.
Well, Jamie, let me start then. So I just want to thank everyone for listening to the program today. I know we had some callers. Those callers expressed their views, and their views should be respected. Of course, if we oppose those views, it's our right to oppose as well. We live in a democratic society, a democratic state, and we will continue to exercise that democratic right of sharing our opinions in a respectful way, and to ensure that we, as people of St. Kitts and Nevis, we as future MPs of St. Kitts and Nevis, that we do what we can to push St. Kitts and Nevis forward. We have spoken about the new pension scheme, and of course, this is a scheme that many persons have been asking the party to speak on. This is just one platform that we're going to use, where we will continue to speak about the changes, and we'll continue to keep the Labour administration accountable. So if there are persons out there who are upset that we are keeping this administration accountable, well, we will continue to keep this administration accountable, because dictators come when there is no one there to keep those leaders in check. So I want to thank you. It has been a really great time here at Freedom as always, and I do enjoy interacting with the callers. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Jamie and Nubian, I want to really thank you guys for having me here at Freedom FM. And I really enjoyed interacting with the callers, very interesting perspectives. But I think it's very necessary for us to meet people where they are is one of my favorite lines, and about meeting them in the villages, meeting them where they're at, and not trying to figure out or telling them to come to a particular place. And in saying that, the civil servants of St. Kitts and Nevis, deserve more than just the political headlines we hear from time to time, the hollow promises that we heard the callers talk about ever so often. And, this is a pervasive challenge for governments worldwide as well. However, I think it's important to say that persons deserve a pension built on transparency, sustainability, and respect. The Drew-led Labour government proposal does not deliver on that. Instead, it places the burden on the backs of workers without offering them a real guarantee in return. I showed the numbers. It lacks an expert analysis. It ignores the voices of the same people that we hear talking today. And those voices need to be heard in order to create a long-term plan that is averse of the risk instead of doing these things for political gain. The pension is not a gift. It's an earned right. It must reflect the dignity and service, not the desperation of a failing government. And I'd like to close by saying, a PAM government will not inherit justice. We will correct it. On day one, a PAM government will cancel any version of this proposed pension plan and replace it with a people-centered plan, expert-led, and fiscally sound alternative that truly honors the contributions of every civil servant in this country. We will stand for justice, we will stand for fairness, and the People's Action Movement will stand with the workers of our government. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sheldon?
My name is Sheldon Nubian.
No, I was thanking Sheldon. So Nubian, you're up now?
Yes. As you say, it was a feisty afternoon. But you still have to respect people's opinion. I believe in my heart that the People's Action Movement would provide a different type of leadership than we have right now. And probably the callers, that particular caller who called you wouldn't be able to see it because he don't canvass. I don't think he back and forth in his constituency, listening to the people that speak about the pension plan, listening to the people that have to tighten their belts while the ministers of government, they don't get the salary, the big pension plan done in place for them. And so he ain't a lot of balling that people out there doing. And I said it Sunday gone, I saw a lady in West Tech. She worked 2 jobs just to provide for her children. She ain't want a handout. All she want for us to be able to do is provide those opportunities for her children. She ain't asked for $5. She ain't asked me to buy nothing for. She ain't asked me for nothing at all. But when her son is of it reached to age, she wants a scholarship for her son because he's very, very, very intelligent. And that's what people want. People want leadership. People want opportunities. And equally so, the same thing Mr. McMahon said, we got to be able to provide those opportunities. You can't have a government sitting for 5 years, and because you can't get rid of them for 5 years, they do nothing for 5 years and then come and shing out some money during the election. And by the time the money done, well, they don't pay for the election. So see you till whenever the next 5 years expire again. And so that is what PAM will correct. PAM will have all ministers in government that would see for the people, that will provide opportunities for people, that won't disappear at the end of the day. And so today, I want to send a public invitation to everybody in constituency number 2. We have a walkthrough in Pine Gardens at about 5 o'clock. Come, it's hard work. Let us work together, because we would reap the rewards together and we will enjoy those rewards together in constituency number 2 and in St. Kitts in general. Last week we had a successful walkthrough in number 4.
Where you bought the 4 bread?
Where I bought the 4 bread, yes, where I bought the 4 bread, four very nice bread, exactly. I hope to see a bread bus up there passing so I could buy some bread in constituency.
How much you going to buy, 2?
I'll buy 2 in constituency number 2. Yeah, things getting tight, things getting very tight. And so come today on the walkthrough and let's have conversations. We need help. As I say, it's not a one-man job. And as the chairman said, I am the least in this whole equation. The people is the first thing. Mm-hmm. The people and providing opportunities and a better life for people is the first thing on Pam's agenda and on my agenda.
Okay.
So see you at 5.
So Carl is selling bread in Pine Garden, so you may just want to stop by him, okay?
Well, that's where we're going to start. That is where we're going to start.
Yeah.
Well, I might buy 2
and beg 2.
And beg 2.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's how
and I'll get me 4 necessarily.
And that's how we're going to end Hot Topics for this afternoon. Thank you to all of you who called in. I understand that people get very passionate about their politics, but listen, I feel like in 2025 we have gotten to a place where we can have discussions and we can have this debates about issues without disrespecting other people. Sometimes we need to just stay on the topic, and shy away from the personal attacks. And I was laughing, I think, when Azad was wrapping up, because somebody said, but Jimmy, ain't really that bad, because we heard one from President Trump this morning. That ain't the example. That is not the example.
And Trump said it with passion.
That is not the example we're going for here on Freedom FM. We want to have discussions about the hot topics, and we want to see some solutions, some resolutions to the problems that we are bringing to you each and every Tuesday. So tune in next week, Tuesday, and Nubian will be here. I think I'm going to sit out next week. I'm tired.
We're going to be here every week.